All right, hey everybody. Thank you for tuning in to what became the next episode of A Better Podcast. If you listened to the first episode, you will be aware that this is the second half of that episode. I hope you really enjoyed it. I think Jeff and I had a lot of fun with this episode. I think it's one of our better episodes. We go a lot into Batman versus Superman and other superhero topics and go off on a few other tangents here and there. But I think it's a really solid episode, and I really hope you enjoy it. And I think if you like Batman versus Superman, if you like comics in general, I think you really dig this episode. So sit back, tune in, and enjoy the show.
But, Kenny, we
Yes.
must we must begin to discuss the reason why we are here today. We did homework,
Today's
guys. We did homework this time.
we did. We prepared in
We
everything.
prepared.
And if you sat through all of the rest of this episode, you were going to be so happy you did.
Well, you should probably mention at the jump that we're going to talk about this. But we both watched Batman v Superman. The what do they call it?
The
The Ultimate Edition. The 3-hour extravaganza.
Which adds another about half hour of footage
Yeah.
and does so much to take care of a lot of the plot holes and exposition that they cut out of the theatrical cut for some reason. And I know that we talked about this, and we're both in agreement that Warner Brothers doesn't really want to take risks because they're worried about whatever.
Yeah, they're kind of sissies.
But looking at just the two versions, like releasing the Ultimate Edition as a theatrical release wouldn't be taking much of a risk because you're only adding a whole extra half hour of time. It's not like you're adding like another hour and 30 minutes of film. You're adding almost nothing in terms of length to make a much, much better film. So I don't think them not wanting to take a risk is a factor in this, because it doesn't make sense.
Just a poor decision on their part is what you're saying overall.
Yeah, like, I mean, I guess maybe they were worried about time, but it's not very much time in a film that's already over 2 hours long. It doesn't make any sense to me why they would decide not to release that when it is definitively a much better version of the film.
I think so. I mean, but you never saw the original though.
Yeah, but I never saw the original, but I read a lot about it because I was curious to see what people were going to think of it, because I wanted to see it and I never got a chance to because it came out when I didn't have the Jorb, so I didn't get a chance to see it.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to see what people thought about it because I saw the trailers. The film looked great, I thought, from the trailers, so I really wanted to see what people thought as the film came out and they saw the release. And I saw a lot of people saying that it was okay, but there's a lot of plot holes and a lot of things that don't make sense, and it flows really weird.
Yeah.
And there's a few people on Twitter that I follow that are like really hypercritical of films, and they said that the Ultimate Edition they blown away by, and like, why wasn't this in theaters?
Yeah.
So going into it, I had some idea of where the deficiencies in the original were. So having that background information and going into it, I have to say that it really did flow way better from what I heard compared to the original.
It definitely filled in a lot of gaps. And one of my biggest issues with the original, and which I talked about with you a second before, a little bit before, but like what they still haven't really kind of, what they haven't really kind of like fleshed out enough for me yet is what is Lex Luthor's motivation. Because at the very end of this new cut, we see that deleted scene they showed where Lex Luthor's talking to Steppenwolf, who is a minion of Darkseid, which I know. And
Yes.
Most people still don't know, and they're tagging in or whatever. But like, that's fine. They don't have to explicitly just explain who those people are and what a mother box is, because that's what Justice League is for.
Yeah,
that's what we're going to do there. However, sorry.
Oh, I was like, I do like what they did in the sense that, although a little bit more exposition would have been good, but I don't like that they outright said, "Okay, guys, here's what's happening and why it's happening and who this is and blah blah blah." I do like that they left a little mystery.
That's fine.
But I do think explaining a little bit more as to who this character is might have been a good idea.
Well, my problem is that they only showed Steppenwolf at the end of the movie. So that sort of explains why, maybe that's why they're inferring that's why Lex is doing what he's doing. But like, then they should have put it in the front of the movie too, like, or something like that. Does he meet Steppenwolf when he first walks into the Genesis Chamber and he gets access to like the hundreds of thousands of worlds that the Kryptonian database has, and Apocalypse being one of them? Or is he just like, what's his initial motivation? Is it power? Is it fear? Is that all it is? Is he like, they don't he's just nuts. And trust me, what's his name? The guy who's playing him,
Jesse
Eisenberg. He's playing a crazy Lex Luthor. He is nuts.
I have to say, as a sidebar about him, I thought he did a fantastic job as Lex Luthor. I was worried because, I mean, you always see Lex Luthor. He's this like older businessman.
Well, this is his
like,
son. This is Alexander Luthor.
True. I mean, it's not technically the same Lex
It's
Luthor.
not Gene Hackman Lex Luthor.
But it's always depicted as this like really like strategic, cold businessman who's very calculated. And Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, obviously a very calculated individual, but he's also very obviously crazy.
Yeah, he's the Google version of Lex Luthor.
Exactly.
He's Facebook's Lex Luthor.
And I was, oh man, is this a sequel to The Social Network?
Wow.
Oh man. But I just thought that even with that interpretation of the character, I thought he did a great job, and made the character much better than I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I will say though, in terms of his motivation, I feel like they did do a decent job explaining it, at least in the deleted scene and a little bit, and earlier in the film. But from what I gather, his motivation is basically he's trying to corral Superman because he doesn't think that this ultimate powered being should exist, and he's basically trying to destroy him.
So he is starting out with noble intentions, trying to like save the world because he wants to. It is true, he's trying to create a weapon, a deterrent against Superman.
Because he sees this ultimate powered being and realizing that we can't stop him, but he finds information that shows him how you can stop him, and so he's kind of doing it more through fear than anything else.
I just wish there was
makes sense for his character.
I just wish there was a scene they threw in there because Mercy doesn't do anything except get blown up, which is really kind of disappointing because I like her character in the books and stuff in the animated series. But like there could have been a scene where he's talking with Mercy, or confiding in anyone, and talking about what his motivations are, like what he's really thinking, what he's really doing. I mean, in a movie that was theatrical cut 2.5 hours long, and
there's a lot. There's some things missing in that, even in that.
And then the ultimate cut, it's 3 hours long. It's like you could have spent 2 minutes. Give me 120 seconds of a scene where Lex Luthor is talking about what the fuck he's doing and why.
Yeah. So, from what I gather, though, having watched the film and seeing how his character develops, what it feels like to me is initially he's doing this because he wants to, keep America safe, keep the people safe, because there is.
He's talking about planetary defense.
That's right, planetary defense. So keep the world safe from this, being that could wipe us out if he really wanted to. Mm-hmm. And the more that he is hindered, the more he is stopped because the government isn't letting him import. Oh, let's stop for a second. Spoilers galore, by the way, everybody.
Oh my God! But it goes without saying, if you have not seen Batman versus Superman, and honestly,
I just thought I would throw that out there for people who weren't.
And honestly, we're not spoiling anything. If you've seen the original cut and haven't seen the extended cut, there's no spoiler there. The movie hasn't changed. There's no rapid plot point.
They just add things.
This isn't like the director's cut of Blade Runner. You know what I mean? Like this is, it's just more.
Great movie, by the way. But for me, the character seemed to have gone from this person who's really worried about planetary defense and keeping us safe from this alien being who could kill us if he wanted to, and the more he's hindered, the more he's stopped. Like when the Congress people won't let him import the kryptonite rock they find, which he wants to weaponize to use against Superman if need be. The more he's stopped, the crazier he becomes, to the point where he's gone more from I want to, keep the world safe to I have to kill this man because I, worry he's going to turn on us one day, kind of thing. If that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So I do think they did a better job explaining his motivation, what he wants to do, but I don't think that they elaborated enough in where they could have without having all this exposition, basically just outright telling you this is what I'm doing, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm a little more on the fence on it than you are. I think they did a decent job, but they could have added more, I think, and it still would have made the film flow better, and it still would have given enough exposition without outright telling you
the movie
A, B, and C. I'm doing A, B, and C.
The movie this new cut is the better version of the movie. If you've never seen the movie, watch this one.
Yeah, don't worry about seeing the theatrical release. Just watch the alternate.
I'd hate to call upon the curse of Green Lantern. But if you watched, I never saw Green Lantern in theaters. I saw the extended cut they released afterwards. And then after watching it, I was like, I mean, this movie's not great, but it's not as terrible as everyone made it out to be. And then I read about what they added in for the extended cut, and I was like, what? That wasn't in the Like, how could that not be in the original movie? Like, what's the point? Like, they cut out like most of the origin about Ferris Air and stuff like that. It's been a long
Yeah.
time, but like, it's just dumb. It's like, why would you not put that in there? So it's sort of like that, where like some of the shit just should have been in there from the first place. And
Yeah.
damned if it's too long. Who cares? I mean, people are gonna watch. It made
Yeah,
$1 billion, didn't it? It's still fine.
something like that. Yeah. Like I mean, like we said last time, or one of the previous podcasts. Like I don't care about length. I want a good movie. If the movie's gonna be 3.5 hours long, you already have my money. I'm there to see the movie because I want to see the movie.
Kenny's really
Make
mostly
it as
about
long as
growth.
3.5 hours
Sorry, I
long.
couldn't.
So
I couldn't leave that there. Go on.
hey, I like what I like. But no, like I don't care if the movie's 3.5 hours long if it's a good movie that makes sense. Like if it's 3.5 hours long and it makes like it got to the point where like 2 hours in, like okay, the film could end here and it would be a good film. Like obviously that's bad. But with a movie like Batman vs Superman, if you had kept in that extra half hour, the film probably would have been critically and received by the public way better than it was.
It is
It would make a
interesting.
lot more sense.
It is interesting because my initial reaction of Batman v Superman in the theatrical cut was that it
Hmm.
was too long. There were scenes they could have gotten rid of. However, now that I've seen this longer version, where they sort of
Hmm.
flesh out too how like Batman's motivations and like how it
Hmm.
sort of evolves for him, and Superman's motivations and how it evolves for them. Like those extra scenes thrown in where Superman visits that lady in her apartment, or Batman talks to that guy. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
and here's more bad stuff about Superman. Like it makes more sense. Whereas in the theatrical cut, like all of Batman's stuff, all of his scenes that involve just him by himself, it's just
Hmm.
him being broody and pissed off about something Superman's doing. It's not
Yeah.
like,
And that doesn't make sense for his
yeah, it
character
doesn't.
because his character isn't just broody just to be
Yeah,
moody and
he's one of the smartest people in the world, so
yeah.
he has to have reasons. You know,
Hmm.
he's a logical. He's the world's greatest detective. He's a mastermind of logic. So like
Hmm.
he wouldn't just go nuts because he's scared of Superman. Like he has to have
Yeah.
reasons. He has to have evidence.
Like and the one thing I thought that the film did great, which I don't see a lot in terms of media for Superman, is I actually like I texted you, I legitimately felt bad for Superman at a couple points in the film, like when he's fighting Batman.
Oh, because Batman's whooping his
Like,
ass.
well, not just that, but it's like the second time he gets the kryptonite grenade in the face
Yeah,
and starts choking, like the way they film that and his facial expressions, I legitimately felt
it's pretty
bad
intense.
because he just looks so defenseless, and you see this character who's basically this godlike figure in the DC universe
Mm.
be reduced to this, basically
You're not even a man.
this I don't know what to call him, just this pathetic
Do
individual.
you bleed?
You will. But I just thought that like they did that really well. And I legitimately felt bad for Superman.
I'm still Team Batman all the way, and you know what?
Oh no, I'm absolutely Team
I've
Batman. I will.
I've always
I
been
love Batman.
I've always been more for what Superman does for the DC universe, as opposed to like, I'm not a big fan of the Superman books. I could give a
Yeah.
shit about what Superman's doing on his own. Like it doesn't bother me. I like him better in context, working with the Justice League or
Oh yeah.
making special
Well, that's when
appearances
he
and stuff like
shines the
that.
best. Is when he's actually working with
Yeah,
as a
because otherwise I'm
alone.
just like, oh, who cares? He does everything. He's super strong. Like
Mhm.
Superman doesn't have to know how to fight.
Yeah.
He gets
He
his
can just
ass kicked every, like there's that there's the classic comic where he fights Muhammad Ali under a Red Sun simulator and Muhammad Ali whoops
yep.
his ass. Well, of course, but
Oh yeah. Well, you're not going to be a Muhammad Ali.
yeah, but still, like Superman doesn't have to rely on any sort of technique or
Mhm.
skill. He's just Superman. He's just balls strong. He is the strongest
Yeah.
thing ever.
Well,
Period. Exclamation
there's
point.
a comic that came out a few years ago. I can't remember. He's being tested by this alien being, and he's lifting up an item that weighs 200 quintillion
Yeah,
tons with one hand. Like I don't know.
yeah.
It's
His
ridiculous.
total strength seems to be in flux.
He's kind of like the Hulk in that way. Like his limits of his strength have never been fully
What he's
calculated.
capable of is will vary from issue to issue.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting that way. But
But that's why I liked it so much is because you take this character who I really don't feel anything about. He's a cool character. I like him, like you said, in the context of the Justice League. On his own, not so much. But I legitimately like started feeling for this character who essentially, is a character I can't relate to in any
yeah,
context. So the fact that they were able to do that, I really liked.
there's a my favorite execution of Superman isn't even in a Superman book, and we've talked about this before.
Mhm.
But like the scene is it's in Green Arrow. It's in a Green Arrow book where Green Arrow It's very complicated, but he's on a boat with his son named Connor Hawk, who's also Green Arrow at the time. And Connor Hawk has been shot. And they're in the middle of the ocean on a boat. Connor Hawk is dying in his son is dying in his arms.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all, and everyone else in the boat is panicking. They're arguing about what to do next, and like he's just quietly holding his son. And then he lifts up his head and he just says, "Clark, Clark," and he shouts, "Clark!" like hella loud. And zoom, Superman swoops in and grabs him, like zoom, gone. And I'm like,
I do like that.
I'm like, that's amazing. That's what Superman should be doing. He should be helping other heroes because, like, come on, man, he's Superman. He should be doing all that kind of cool shit. And he gets Connor Hawk, zooms him away to the nearest hospital somewhere. I don't know where they were. It doesn't matter because the Superman, he can take him anywhere he wanted. It would take a second anyway. So like that's the best time. That is the best, and it's a huge moment too. It's such a powerful moment. Where like everyone's arguing and he just like ignores what they're saying and just starts screaming Clark into the sky.
Well, I love that, and there's another moment where I think he's fighting Darkseid, and he gives this speech where basically saying like because of who he is and the things he can do, he can't ever really fully be himself.
That's right.
As he lives in a world of cardboard.
Yes, he lives in a world of paper, I believe is the line.
Yeah, and doing something like fighting Darkseid is one of the few chances he can really unleash who he is and be himself and not have to hold anything back. And then he just like punches Darkseid in the face.
Cuts loose on that dude's noggin.
Yeah. So I like moments like that where you have where, like you said, Superman is helping the other heroes in some way, or when he has those moments where he can really be himself. Those are cool, but he doesn't get very many of those.
No, because you have to come up with someone who's equally as powerful as Superman, and that just like creates all.
And that just gets ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a can of worms because he's already a ridiculous character. We'll never be able to get rid of him. You can't nerf Superman. At this point. He's
one of Wonder Woman and Batman are the mainstays of the DC universe.
He's a mainstay.
They are the mascot.
He's a mainstay of comics. He is like he's not the originator, but like he's the birth of the superhero genre.
He's one of the most iconic figures ever.
Yeah, I mean, people know more about Superman like than they do anything else.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of the way it is. But back to the movie, yeah.
Yeah, but no, I like I said, I like the way that they at least made me. I don't know if other people. I'm sure other people felt somewhat that way to some degree, but I like they actually made him a character I could actually feel bad about for a second, and they didn't do it in a way I felt was really cheesy or really.
Anyway, they earned it.
Yeah, no, I felt like it was a genuine moment that worked really well the way they incorporated it into the film, and I also really like the Jesus allegory throughout, at least that I saw.
There was a lot of it though.
Like the part where Batman picks up Superman, but he like holds him kind of almost like a crucifix manner, and he throws him down the balcony, and then when he and he's stepping on his face and he's about to stab him with the spear
of Longitis.
So much Jesus. Yeah, I know. So much Jesus.
It's the spear of destiny of Kryptonite. You know.
And I'm just like, oh man, so much Jeebus.
I took some notes while I was watching this time. The first one I have is in relation to the very first scene where Batman is driving in the product placement Jeep. This is where we get all our ideas for our subtle sponsorship, guys. Is from movies now. Jeep.
Jeep.
And I actually watched something today. Screen Rant on YouTube released a video where they talked about worst product placements, and Batman v Superman takes place in 2013. I mean, excuse me. That the events of that day take place in 2013, supposedly, of the day that Superman fought Zod. The Jeep that Batman is driving came out this year. In 2016. So it's like, what? So there's that problem. But it's also like Jeep, like make sure we show up the Jeep.
That's one thing with like car product placement I've kind of ignored now, because I mean, like, if you're gonna have a movie where people drive, they have to drive something.
Yeah, they do. And you can't cover up the logos all the time. But anyway, he's driving through Metropolis with his Jeep, and he's dodging stuff left and right, and then finally he has to get out, and he's like. So, like, there's a whole crowd of people, like, just watching as this building falls down or whatever, you know what I mean? And Batman just sort of, he's running, and he's looking at what everyone else is looking at, and then he looks back towards his goal, because he's got other places to go. And I just wrote, Batman too busy Batmaning. I don't have time. I have to Batman some more.
Hold on, I have to Batman out of my way. Must Batman.
Must Batman. Too busy Batmaning.
Yeah, I did notice that he did have to Batman a little bit.
He was like that was such a good scene though. Like that is like from the trailer. That's what sold me the movie. I mean, I was gonna see anyway, but like
Yeah.
that's what sold me on wanting to go see the movie really badly was when they're redoing that scene. It's very 9/11-esque as well.
Yeah.
With the horses and stuff like that and the dust cloud. But he's like, the dust cloud is rushing at him and everyone else is running away. And he's Batman. He's fucking balls out running into it. But he doesn't have a suit. He doesn't have his gadgets. He's wearing his business wear and he's running into a dust cloud. And he could die. He doesn't know what he's breathing. He doesn't know what's flying through the air. He doesn't know what he's going to come into because he can't see anymore. He's like, I don't care. I'm Batman. Boom. He's a hero. You know, that was incredible. That was such a good scene.
I love it because it really showed that. Because one thing I think that as Batman has evolved over the years, he really has become this idea where Batman is the actual person, Bruce Wayne is the mask.
Yeah, that was Kevin Conroy was the first person to ever really talk about that. That was his motivation when he was voicing Batman in the Batman animated series. He said he came to that realization that Batman is the true identity.
Yeah, so I thought that scene really illustrated that well because he's had this opportunity where he's obviously not dressed as Batman. He doesn't have any, like you said, none of his gadgets. He could die any moment doing.
If anybody were to notice, is that Bruce Wayne? And like one of the guys does, like in the dust cloud, like some guy passes him and he's all like, huh? And then he looks back like, because like in all things, like all this shit's happening. Aliens are fighting each other in the sky, and a building that he was just in fell down. And he looks over, he goes, "Is that Bruce Wayne?" You can see it on his face, like, that fucking Bruce Wayne.
Well, I like that too because it's also this idea of like, you're the CEO of the company. Why are you here?
Because he's awesome.
So I really like that scene. I thought, and like, that did really sell it for me because it did give you the opportunity to really see, like, Bruce Wayne dropping the facade of not being Batman for a second, because he just dives into the fray.
Ben Affleck as Batman was not the weak point of this movie. It was very strong.
I have to talk about that for a second.
So juiced for
this is exactly the same thing that happened with Heath Ledger. Everyone was scoffing at Heath Ledger, thought he was going to be a horrible Joker, couldn't act as we have a paper bag, and he blew that shit the fuck away.
Yeah, so much so that we lost him.
Went out like a champ.
Oh man, it's so sad.
Yeah, still.
It's hard. It's hard.
Still bummed about that. But this, I think, was the same thing with Ben Affleck. Like, everyone thought, oh, he's gonna suck. He's not gonna do great, and he did a phenomenal job as Batman.
We talked about this too. It's like anybody can be Batman because you're wearing a mask and a suit.
Exactly.
You can. That's like more often than not, you're a stunt double. You know what I mean? Like it's whatever.
Yeah.
But like playing Bruce Wayne or playing Batman out of the mask, that's what matters. And Ben Affleck's got the chops for that. Despite what you think of him, and now you should think really good of him. So fuck off. Like he's.
Well, I mean, look what he's done lately. He did this, which he did great in. He did Argo, which was great. He did The Town, which was awesome.
Such a good movie.
Heat 2, The Town.
Yeah, Heat.
As I like to call it.
Heat is absolutely one of my favorite movies of all time, and The Town is like it's very close. It's like a modern day adaptation.
Great movie.
Not that Heat's very old. It's just the '90s, but whatever.
Yeah. But no, like the last few, like, I mean, even in Good Will Hunting, he was good in that. And that movie came out.
Oh, that movie's great. No, it's just he did such a good job of Batman in the quiet rage. Like he's just like when he's just crumpling up those papers, and you just see he's like it's like stirring and boiling inside of him. This like this rage because he's an angry guy. He is. Yeah. Batman is an angry guy.
He can't let it out because he has to be stoic as Batman.
He has to be in control too. It's all about control and finding that center again, so he could use that to punch bad guys in the face.
Exactly. I did love to jump ahead a little bit and come back, but the scene towards the end when he's trying to save Martha Kent.
Yes.
And he just throwing people around, and that one dude he throws into the wall.
Yes.
And you see him fall down, and then just a blood streak go down. Yeah. I'm like, that man is dead. That man has died. Yeah. He has killed that man.
Batman kills people in this movie, and I'm still not super stoked about it. Apparently, in Justice League, we're going to see a different kind of Batman in that, because he's sort of mellowed out. Like, we saw him in Batman v Superman, we saw him at his worst, but he was cynical. He's put away the cowl. You know what I mean? Something happened.
Yeah.
Probably the death of Robin. And there's lots of spoilers. There's lots of rumors out there that the Joker in the new Suicide Squad movie and stuff like that is Jason Todd.
Oh, nice.
And like all the and like there's like references to it. Like people are spotting like a little Robin tattoo on him, and the fact that he's
Hmm.
missing his teeth.
Yeah, he's got the silver cap
Yeah,
teeth.
so he could be like Jason Todd was beaten to death by a crowbar by the Joker, and that's his
Yeah,
family.
and he gets hit in the face a lot with that thing.
Yeah, so there's that.
But the one thing I will say is I'm not as upset about that when he goes ape shit on all the henchmen than when he's trying to save Martha Wayne, because the way I look at it, and I don't, it's probably just my interpretation, probably not at all what they were trying to do, but right before that scene, it's when he's about to kill Superman, and Superman tells him to save Martha,
What's her
and
name?
he starts freaking the fuck out
That
because
is our
what?
pivoting point of the movie. It's still bad.
Right.
It's still really bad. No amount of extended scenes is gonna make Save Martha any better.
I didn't really have that much of a problem with that scene.
They stopped fighting. All was forgiven. Total 180 because they had that. My mom's name is Martha too. Oh my god. That's like if I was getting the shit kicked out of me and I was like, Mom's name is Kathy, and they're like, oh, me too, and we're best friends after that.
Well, at the same time though, like, I mean, it does play into the history a little bit of Batman, but it's a little ridiculous. But
She's always been Martha Wayne.
yeah, but he doesn't know. Batman doesn't know that.
No. Martha Wayne.
I'm sorry, Martha.
Martha
Yeah,
and Thomas Wayne have always been Martha and Thomas Wayne, not just for this movie.
yeah.
It's just a
Oh,
happy accident that like Martha's
well,
a
she's
good
always
mom
been Martha.
name. Martha's just a good mom name in the 30s, I guess. I don't know what else to tell you. Like,
Well, I mean, they're not exactly I don't know, uncommon names, Martha.
Martha Wayne.
But the way I looked at that scene is, regardless of what you think about it, like when he goes to fight those henchmen trying to save her, like I feel like he, having that freak out moment when he's about to kill Superman and realizes that Superman's mom is also named Martha, and he's like, oh my god,
I
emotions.
think it's mostly about like he's about to kill someone's son.
Yeah, I think that's, and especially being that they share the same name.
Yeah, and he doesn't want another Martha to die.
Yeah, and he doesn't want another family to
The line is I promise you Martha will not die tonight.
Yeah,
like
and I think that's he more saying that to himself than
yeah
Superman.
This time he can save Martha because like in this version of that we've seen a billion times, this version of Bruce Wayne and his parents being gunned down in the alley shows that Thomas Wayne tried to be a hero this time,
Yeah,
and got shot, and then Martha got shot after that, and Thomas Wayne's last word isn't for his son. It's Martha.
it's first. So I think I mean I think that's why it's such the 180 freak out that he does. It's I think they were trying to harken back to that, and it didn't translate as well as it could have.
It's almost as if now stay with me on this. Stay with me on this.
Staying with you. Staying with you.
A man who dedicates his life to dressing up as a flying winged bat and kicking the crap out of villains might have some deep-seated emotional issues.
Work
it out. Work with me.
I'll agree for now.
Yeah, I think you should.
I'll have to look into this one. But but for that scene after all that unfolds and he's like, I'm like you said, another Martha won't die tonight, and he goes to fight those henchmen. I feel like the reason that he ends up, because he does end up killing a few of them. There's no like
he shoots
there's no way
a couple of them. Those dudes are shooting at him while he's up in the Batwing, and he just blows up their cars. They don't walk away from that explosion. Nope. In that chase scene where like he's chasing after the guys who have the kryptonite in the box they're going to deliver to Lex Luthor, he knocks those two guys off their road in their car, and I'm like, oh, okay, they might be okay. And then he grappling hooks that same car and whips it around, uses it as a weapon. I'm like, oh, now they're dead.
Nope, they're dead.
Now, if they were alive, they are now dead.
When he flies out the ledge with the Batmobile and like lands on the trailer, I'm like, those men could have died. He could have killed them.
No, he did kill one guy. If you watch it closely, he comes down on the corner of the trailer and like one guy dies. He hits the guy with a Batmobile.
I might have to watch it because I don't remember seeing that, but I'll probably wouldn't.
That
watch
guy
it
is dead. So this Batman kills. The next, like I was saying earlier, Justice League, he's supposed to be a little more toned down. He's probably not going to kill people.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about specifically is when he's trying to save Martha Kent.
Yes.
and he is basically going complete apeshit on those people.
Punches
He's
one
not
on the
as
floor.
he's not as calculated because he is not controlling his emotions the same way he would because of the big revelation he had from Superman.
He's in a bit hurry.
Yeah.
Hurry.
So he's obviously he's under a timer because she's gonna die in like 10 minutes if he doesn't save her. But he's not worried about trying to be stealthy. He's not worried about trying to pick them off one by one. He's like, I just have to get rid of as many of these people as quickly as possible. Guys. Yeah, so he can't be the calculated Batman that he always is. So he just basically has to just go apeshit and hurt them as bad as possible so they don't get up.
Sometimes that will be murdering them.
Well, I mean, it's like playing into the Arkham games. Like, you don't kill anyone in there, but like some of those people aren't going to walk again, and you've probably given a few of them brain damage.
Yeah. That guy is just he is not a vegetable. He is still alive. Yep. But he is a potato.
Well, like when you find a group of people in that game and you do the finisher and you like leap on them and then you punch them in the face with like gloves with lead shot in them.
Yeah.
And their head bounces off the concrete between your fists and the concrete. Like they're not going to walk anymore. They're not going to get out of a coma anymore.
They're probably going to be.
They're being fed through a tube.
They will be eating and pooping through tubes the rest of their lives. For the rest of their potato lives. However, in that scene, we did get the joke. Did you catch the one joke?
The joke that Martha said?
It's actually the two joke. There's two jokes in the movie, but like there is the joke, the Martha joke, where Batman.
Which I thought was
Batman has just saved Martha Kent, and he's on top of her, saving her from the fire, and he's not getting up, and he just goes, "I'm in front of your sons," and she goes, "I thought so." The cape.
I laughed really hard at that. I thought that was such a good moment.
That is one of two jokes. That is 50% of the jokes in the movie. The other joke is when Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman are facing off against Doomsday, and Superman looks at Batman and goes, "Is she with you?" And Batman goes, "I thought she was with you." Those are the two jokes in the whole movie.
I will say I did think Alfred had a bit of a joke when he talks. I'm probably going to quote it a little incorrectly, but basically the gist is Alfred's talking to Batman, and he makes a comment about like settling down and continuing the Wayne generation. He's like, "That's wishful thinking, Alfred."
Wishful thinking, Alfred. Yeah, he just does a lot of asides to himself in that one.
Speaking of Alfred, I thought Jeremy Irons did a great job.
He did a great job. He doesn't get nearly as much screen time as Michael Caine did.
He really should have gotten more screen time.
I think he will.
He did great with his character. Each time he was.
He looks really good too. He looks like the Alfred from sort of like the modern day adaptation of Alfred, where he was like in the SAS and stuff like that. Yes. As opposed to Alfred, who was like a actor in a wandering troupe before he became a butler or something like
that. Yeah, no, I think he embodied that version of Alfred a lot better. Yeah. But
the Alfred that we have on Gotham right now. He's if you don't watch Gotham, but if anybody watches Gotham, he's that Alfred basically.
Yeah. Well, I think it makes sense too because you also see him when one of the first times you see Alfred, he's working on the armor that Batman ends up using to fight Superman.
Yeah.
Which is not something he would know how to do if he was just some dude that was working in some kind of troop.
Well, he's definitely they definitely play their old veterans at what they've been doing. They talk about that a lot. We do this for years and stuff like that. They've got it down. They've got the superhero thing down and the secret identity thing down. And it's like it's all second nature. Like this was not Alfred's first time rewiring a super suit for Batman. You know what I mean? Like so.
Yeah, I did like. We're kind of jumping around here. We'll get on track one day.
We don't have to go in order. It's fine. I don't care.
That's true. Well, I did like. I thought was pretty funny when the first time after Lex reveals to Superman that he's kidnapped his mother, and if he doesn't kill Batman, she's going to die, and he has an hour to go to bring him the head of Batman. Mm-hmm. Batman has as you find out, Batman has the trap set up to stun Superman to beat him.
Yeah.
But when the first time Superman lands and he starts talking to Batman, and he says Bruce, and then you see this look on Batman's face like, "Fuck, he knows who I am now."
Yeah, he's like, "God damn it!
How the fuck did he find out who I am?"
That's my one thing.
It's the only thing I got. But I thought that was pretty cool. And I like what they did with the Batman voice. I thought it made a lot more sense for the Batman character.
They should have done from the beginning, like
Yeah, because every iteration of Batman you see, like, if you know what Bruce Wayne sounds like, it's Batman. Like, they always sound the same.
It's like, maybe a little Bruce Wayne?
Rough.
No.
But I thought it was really awesome that they actually did something to modify his voice, so you wouldn't know who he is.
That's what he should be using all along, as a voice modulator.
Oh yeah.
That's exactly what Batman would be using, and all the technology he's got at his disposal and stuff like that. That's his thing.
Yeah.
I think what happened was in like the Chris Nolan movies, it was a choice to do the Batman voice that he made. The actor, Christopher. No, huh?
Are you talking Christian Bale?
Christian Bale, yeah. It was a choice he made to make the Batman voice, whereas and they just kind of stuck with it through the 3 movies, and then they were stuck with it. But at any point, they could have just stuck a voice modulator on him and called it a day.
Yeah. Yeah, they could have had like a scene in like The Dark Knight where Lucius Fox is like, "Here, we made you this voice modulator so
you
that
don't sound so ridiculous anymore." They could have made a joke about it.
Because
Morgan Freeman gets all the best jokes in those movies anyway.
Really does. Yeah, but it would have been a quick because when he talks to him about fixing up changing up the bat suit so that it's more functional, like so he can turn his head and stuff.
Yeah.
And he could be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we added this voice modulator because you sound ridiculous."
Yeah. No. How awesome would it be if Morgan Freeman had a scene where he was making fun of the voice and like did his own version of the voice?
I'm Batman.
So you don't have to sound like this anymore. Ha ha ha.
See, I think that would have been awesome. It would have been like 5 seconds of screen time.
Come on, guys, give us that. Come on. Yeah, oh well. But yeah, the voice modulator was a good choice.
Yeah, and I think it worked really well too because it didn't sound super ridiculous.
Yeah.
It didn't sound really cartoony and dumb. I thought it actually sounded really good for the character.
It sounds like what they were doing. They've been doing it on Arrow for instance, season 1. He's got a voice modulator. Or actually, I think season 2 he finally gets one.
Yeah.
And they make a point of like him pressing a button so like he turns on the voice modulator. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that's exactly what Batman can do, and I'm hoping that they don't get rid of that.
Oh, they won't. I think it's going to be the way it is.
I hope so because it wouldn't make sense for him not to have.
He might not use it while he's in the cowl with the other Justice Leaguers.
Oh yeah, no, that would make sense if he's just in with the Justice League.
But like when he's out and about, he'll probably switch on the voice.
I mean, it would make sense now, especially because both Batman or both Superman and Wonder Woman know who he is.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't make sense to hide.
Yeah. And they all and everybody knows who. They all know. The only person they don't know who it is Aquaman. They know. Yeah. They know Barry Allen. They know the Flash. They know who he is.
I like those scenes, by the way.
Those were cool.
The other metahumans.
Yeah. Cyborg is made up of a mother box in this version of it.
I thought that was a pretty interesting move.
That's where we also got our second big product placement. Amidst everything, there's Dr. Pepper. Like front and center in the frame. Dr.
Well,
Pepper.
I mean, Dr. Pepper, he does have a PhD. He can help.
The actor who played Cyborg's dad, I forget his name, something Stone. I forget.
Yeah, I recognized him, but I do not.
But well, the actor I can't remember his name, but the actor played a sort of a scientist in Smallville, the super Smallville, the Superman TV show.
Oh, nice.
So like
maybe there's continuity of sorts there.
Probably not. No, not at all. But however, like it is kind of funny that like they did that. Like it's the same guy. I'm like, hey, look at that. You know, like he's pretty much playing the same sort of crazy scientist doctor guy.
Yeah.
It's just funny. They killed Jimmy Olsen like right away.
I saw that. I wasn't at first. I wasn't sure if Jimmy Olsen was like a cover name and this wasn't the actual Jimmy Olsen. But like, no, they just outright shot Jimmy Olsen in the face.
Jimmy Olsen is a CIA agent. He's not a journalist. He's a CIA agent, and he gets killed in the first 5 minutes of the movie or something like that.
Yeah, I really thought initially, like when they pointed the gun at him, there was gonna be like an explosion or someone gets distracted. But no,
it was fucking Jack Jimmy Olsen. Like fuck that noise.
To be fair, though, probably not a big loss.
Yeah.
In continuity of this version of the DC universe, Jimmy Olsen probably is going to play a big factor.
No.
But it was really surprising to see them kill such a well-known character.
He's Jimmy Olsen. I mean, shit. It's Supergirl. He's black. Played by Mashad Brooks.
That's true.
He's a Adonis of a man. I don't know if you're watching Supergirl or not.
I've seen a couple episodes.
But him as Jimmy Olsen is like, holy, whoa, Jimmy.
Which Jimmy Olsen would you rather have?
Oh. Whoa.
The Batman vs Superman version or the Supergirl version?
Supergirl version, hands down. That is a handsome man. I'm not afraid to say. Oh.
Hey, I know what I like.
I mean,
I like what I like.
He's not Gosling, but he's...
Oh, I mean, few people can.
Oh, God, Gosling. Anyway, sorry.
Sorry. Think about Ryan Gosling.
Man. What else we got? During the... Oh, let's take it back a bit. I still don't understand the Pa Kent scene. Like he goes to the top of the mountain and there's his dad. Like, and
I think he's just because I mean, at the point he leaves, is shortly after the explosion at the state house. I don't know
yeah, but
where.
like I just don't know why he's got like he goes to the Andes and climbs this mountain, and I guess
I feel like they're.
he's having like a vision quest, and there he talks to his dad, and he learns.
I thought with that scene originally they were going to do something with the Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah, they should have.
I'm surprised they
That would
didn't.
have made more
Honestly,
sense. But like, yeah, like what the hell are they talking about? Like, what the hell's going on? Why is his dad here? And like, is he hallucinating? And how come? But if he is, why is his dad telling him stories that he didn't know? Like he tells him the story about like the flood at the farm when he was a kid, and your grandma baked me a cake because I was a big hero. But then, as it turns out, I helped kill
well,
on a
I
Lang,
think
like the
what
Lang farm,
what the
other
purpose of
horses.
that was is he's I think at that point because when he leaves, like I said, it's right after the explosion. He's essentially couldn't save dozens and dozens of people because
I understand. I understand
because
why it's placed there thematically.
yeah,
It's
but I think what the intention is it's Superman going through this short period of grief because he, like I said, he couldn't save all these lives, and his thing is I'm trying to save people, and I think he's essentially hallucinating from grief, and that story, the intention of that story is to basically say like
yeah.
this, every action has a reaction. You save one person, but you could end up costing 100 lives. It's just kind of
And I totally
he,
get it. Totally on board with that. That makes perfect sense. The execution, incredibly bad. Like,
yeah, I think it could have. I feel like it would have been better if it had been something like he is in the Fortress of Solitude,
yeah, like
and
there's like a
he.
like why? Who's to say that like the Fortress of Solitude? Because they already established that Jor-El exists
Mm,
as like an AI construct in
yeah,
the previous movie. Who's to say that Jor-El, who's been like maybe they could have. Well, then again, like when Jonathan Kent dies,
mhm.
he's not Superman yet, and he hasn't discovered anything about Krypton or anything like that yet.
No, because he's still
He gets
what,
taken up by a
late teens at
tornado.
that point. Yeah, but I mean, age-wise, he's still what, late teens at that
Yeah.
point.
My first thought when you find Jonathan Kent on the top of the mountain is
Mhm.
like, is that where he flew to? Why hasn't he come down? His mother, like his wife, is what the? Why can't you go back to
Well,
Martha? What's wrong
hey,
with you?
you saw the pile of rocks he's
Yeah, you're
building.
up on the. Yeah,
It takes a
that's another
while.
thing. He's building. Like, what is he doing up there? He's building some shamble rock pile. What the fuck is? It makes zero sense, Kenny. It does not.
No, I mean, there are parts of it that don't make sense, like why he's building the thing, because Superman doesn't do anything with it. The whole scene is a little weird because he never goes back there and he never does anything with that
And he
section
never
of the.
explains why he goes to that place in the first place. Like he
Yeah,
climbs the top of that mountain, and he knows he'll be fine because he's Superman. But the Sherpa says it's impassable and stuff like that.
yeah, he's going there to die, as the Sherpa
Yeah,
says.
he's going up there to die, but Superman can't die from like exposure.
Yeah, but no, it's I like I think for me it was I liked what they were trying to do. I thought the overall idea of the scene I thought came through real well, but in terms of execution of why Kevin Costner's there, why he's building a rock pile,
Fuck,
why they never go back there,
just
I
make it
don't.
a dream.
Yeah,
I know that's bad, but it's still not as bad as like he goes to the top of the mountain and talks to his ghost dad. Like he has to.
or at least if you're gonna have him go talk to his ghost dad, at least establish that this place has importance to him.
Yeah, there's got to be something there. I mean, the
Yeah,
hell is going on? Like it makes zero sense, and they didn't tag anything onto that in the extended cut either.
no.
So makes me assume that there's just like, fuck it.
The only thing I can think of is they're going to use that location as a future location of the Fortress of Solitude, which is fine,
But
but at the same
it's
time,
at the
it still
top of
doesn't
the
explain.
Andes. It's not in the North Pole or wherever it is.
So I know that, but I mean, they may not be using the exact location in the comics. But at the same time, like if that is where the Fortress of Solitude is going to be built, it still doesn't make sense why he would want to go there the first time because it's never established in Man of Steel or in Batman versus Superman
Is that
why that location is important.
is that what that rock pile was supposed to be? Like a makeshift fortress of solitude? Like it's being
No,
built?
because it's not even as tall as he
But that's the
is.
thing. Maybe it's just representative
Maybe
because it is like a bunch of rocks, kind of like
they're like
angled and
piled in
stuff
like a
like that.
pyramid
Yeah.
fashion.
So maybe that's what they were trying to throw out there. Like we don't have a Fortress of
Maybe.
Solitude in this version, so here's something represented it and is representing it,
But even if
and
that's the
Jonathan
case,
Kent is building it.
but they still don't explain why he goes there.
It just doesn't make much sense.
Why that location is the one that he goes.
I don't dig that bit at all.
Like I said, I liked where they were going with it, but I don't think that they went as far as they could have, because there's even if you gave me an extra 10 minutes of him, like, before he goes there, to explain why he wants to go to that location.
Thematically, it makes sense. It's perfect for it's a beat they have to have. It's a character beat they have to have in order to like advance the plot.
Yeah.
But the execution was just poor.
Yeah, I thought the scene overall was useful. I don't think it was wasted. Like, I feel like if you cut that scene out, I do think you lose a little bit.
Well, you lose a lot if you cut the scene out, but I just wish that they had done it differently.
Yes. Oh no, I agree. I'm just saying, like, for other people that didn't like the scene, like, I feel like the scene was necessary. It just didn't elaborate as much as it should have.
Yeah.
So it's not like a scene. It's not, I wouldn't call the scene bad just because it is necessary, and if you do lose it, you lose a lot. So, but yeah, it could have been better.
Could have been way better.
Just even if you give me an extra, like I said, 5-10 minutes of just why.
What is going on? How is this possible? What's making this happen?
Why is this location important? And why is he going there? Like, that's all I need. I just need that. And even if you just told me why he's going there, I probably wouldn't be fine with it. So there's that.
There's a couple instances at the end of the movie when they're fighting Doomsday, that like are sort of like making up for the city destruction of the first movie, where they go. They made sure to mention that where the fight starts is in the downtown area.
Yeah.
And they go like Anderson Cooper, because they get Anderson Cooper, that Silver Fox. Anderson Cooper is on the air.
Oh, side note. I'm going to use this term. I'm going to ship it. I'm shipping Anderson Cooper and Tim Gunn.
I don't know what that means.
Putting them in a relationship.
Oh, shipping them. Oh, yeah. Tim Gunn. Oh,
Tim Gunn and Anderson Cooper.
Those are some well-dressed Silver Foxes right there. Good Lord.
Oh, can you imagine though?
Oh. Man.
Oof.
Anyway.
Side note.
Sorry. Oh, I got lost there. Anderson Cooper goes on air and he's talking about, luckily the downtown area is nearly empty as it's after work hours.
Yeah, I remember.
And I was like, woo! Let's just get that out of the way right away.
Yeah, let's. There's the whole conversation we don't need to have.
And then later on, after they nuke Superman and Doomsday in space, Doomsday comes crashing down onto Stryker's Island, and they're like Stryker's Island, and then one person in the back goes, "It's uninhabited."
It's not uninhabited. That's where there's a prison there.
Nope, this one's uninhabited. The Stryker's Island. It might have a prison later. Now that explosion has leveled it to a nice, neat, flat plane. But
well, and you can use all the rubble around you to build the building.
Exactly. There you go. See, they didn't have to work.
So I was so torn on the Doomsday fight.
Oh, it's. I mean, I liked it as a good vehicle to show off Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, she doesn't get much to do beyond just being hot in a dress. Because let's face it, Lord, that woman. I mean, who knew that she's actually a really good actress and she's playing that part well.
I was worried at first because I'd never seen her do anything.
No,
before.
she's a model, not an actress, as I understand.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, because I'd never seen her act in anything before.
You saw her act in a Carl's Jr. commercial, I believe.
I probably did, but I don't remember. But no, I thought
she was one of the bikini-clad ladies who were eating things.
Oh, okay. But I was worried about it because I've never seen her act before, so I don't know her acting ability. And Wonder Woman is one of the most vital pieces of the DC universe.
Who's never gotten any play cinematically.
Nope. The closest she got would be the Linda Carter series.
Well, she's very prominently displayed in the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, the animated show, which is very good.
But I mean live action.
Yeah, stuff. Live action stuff though, no, never.
But I thought she did a great job as Wonder Woman. And I am not worried about her being Wonder Woman in the future.
No, I'm so juiced for her standalone flick. It's set during World War I. Even if we have Captain Kirk as the love interest, Chris Pine.
Hey, Chris Pine is dreamy.
Did you see him? He looks like he's made of wood. Which is funny because it's the same as Pine. Did you see? That's him in the picture too.
Which the one? Oh,
the picture that looks like that Lex has stolen.
I didn't even.
Look closely.
Really
he's to the left of Wonder Woman in that picture.
Oh wow!
It is Chris Pine, and I don't know if those are the other actors that are going to be in the movie.
Well, I imagine they probably would be.
The movie's been shot. It's finished principal photography, by the way. It's
nice.
pending soon, And all told, it's going to be fantastic. I'm looking forward to it a lot.
I'm very excited.
Anything, because I like my favorite parts of Batman v Superman include Wonder Woman getting knocked against a rock, smiling, and then jumping back into the fight. Like she's having fun. She's loving it.
What I just love that the way they made her fight too was very true to the character. Like she wasn't just all brute force. She was very tactical, and like she would jump at Doomsday, but then would like sweep or slide under him, like slash at his tendons. Like it wasn't just like I'm gonna punch him in the face a whole bunch. So
all the while
I thought they
like,
did a great job.
So fun badass because she's an Amazon warrior.
Goddamn right. No, I thought they did a great job with her in the film. But the whole Doomsday fight, I'm so torn on. Like, even though it's like a 45-minute fight because it starts taking place like the last hour, but even then, it's like the pacing of it felt really quick.
Yeah.
Because Doomsday's whole thing, for those of you who don't know, is he's basically unkillable because he absorbs all the kinetic energy of everything that's thrown at him.
Yes.
Because of that's basically how he developed and became Doomsday.
And he does kill Superman in the books.
He does.
Well, sort of.
But
Superman
kind of. Yeah. I mean, even in spoilers alert, he kills Superman in the movie. Kind of.
Yeah. Come on, guys.
Really? But
yeah, and Captain America's been with Hydra all along. Wink, wink.
I'm really curious about that plot line.
Oh, I already know this. I already know the skinny on that one. It's already been revealed how that's been worked out. But we can discuss later. Next episode.
Yes. The whole Doomsday fight, like even though it's like 45 minutes, it still felt really quick to me because, like I said, his whole thing is he absorbs kinetic energy, so he's basically unkillable, and he goes through all these transformations. But they all feel so fast.
Yeah, and he doesn't look great either, especially the very beginning. He's not looking that good.
I thought he looked better after he transformed the second time.
Yeah, he's got the little spiny things on him and stuff like that, and his face gets better.
But I don't know, just I feel like the whole Doomsday fight should have been its own film.
I mean, they didn't. Like I guess the attitude is like, how do we get Wonder Woman in there? And they have to give Lex Luthor something else to do, some other thing.
But there are so many other villains you could have used.
Yeah.
And Doomsday is one of Superman's most prominent foes because they share the ancestry they share because of how difficult it is to fight him because of who he is. Yeah. And I don't like the idea of killing him. I mean, obviously, I don't think he's actually dead.
That's the thing. Like, is he dead? Because if Superman is still alive, does that mean?
Because the thing I'm thinking, like, if they're gonna do the whole like, oh, he's not really dead, what they could have done, I don't know how they would have worked it out, but they might have found a way, is to throw. Because at one point, Superman throws him into the Phantom Zone.
Yeah. And
they could have done that. Granted, I don't know how they would have worked it out because I feel like that's whole other exposition is how Superman has access to the Phantom Zone.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, because they made it like they made it part of their. Like the Kryptonians, apparently that's their power source is the Phantom Zone as well, and stuff like that. Like they run on Phantom engines or something like that. It's like
So that would have been a whole other film, but I feel like I don't know. Like I like the idea of the Doomsday fight. I feel like it should have been paced a little different because it felt really quick. Even though, like I said, it's like almost a third of the film.
It was a lot. It was a lot to tag in. Like we got a big fight versus Batman and Superman that we've been leading up through this whole time, and then Doomsday.
I feel like what they could have done and still have made Wonder Woman function as a character in the film is they could have used her almost as a way to quell the fight between the two of them.
Yeah, but then she just would have dropped in between them, and then that would have stopped the fight. Like we would have missed out on some awesomeness, and then you still have to kill.
No, I mean like you could still have them fight her too. So it's not just like she doesn't just drop in like, oh, we're not going to fight now. Like you could make it so like. She ends up fighting Superman for some like time. She ends up fighting Batman for some like time. Batman and Superman have to team up against her because she's trying to kill them for whatever plot reasons they could make up. You could have made her, like, almost made her an antagonist that becomes a protagonist.
I don't know. I like the way it played out. Believe it or not, like even with Doomsday being Doomsday the way he is.
I don't know. I just feel like using a different villain other than Doomsday would have been a good idea.
Well, who else is there?
I don't know, make fight Lex Luthor. He's already a villain in the film.
I mean, they could have done Parasite. He's very Doomsday-esque.
So, I mean, I don't know, even just if they hadn't even used any other extra villains and just had him fight Lex Luthor for some reason. Mm-hmm. I mean, Lex Luthor has all this technology. I mean, he has a suit basically that allows him to fight metahumans. That'd
be cool if they did that. Like that. Jesse Eisenberg wearing that, would be kind of funny looking.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like it would have been like when Jeff Bridges played Obadiah Stane and as Ironmonger. It would have been a little bit like that. But I think it would have worked better because you already have an established villain. You don't have to throw in this extra villain who I like, but I still, like I said, needs to be his own film, I think. And I think it would have made more sense plot-wise.
Yeah.
Because I also want to know, like, I don't like how they changed Doomsday's origin either.
Yeah. I mean, it's Zod genetically altered with Lex Luthor's DNA, and it's an abomination, a deformation.
And why was Lex Luthor's DNA, like, feasible at all for making Doomsday? Like, that's the thing I don't get.
Well, Kryptonians and humans have to have very similar DNA, otherwise they wouldn't look so.
I know, but I mean, like, why does
human
throwing Lex Luthor's DNA there, like, make an abomination like that? Like, why is that the thing?
Yeah.
That's why, if you're gonna do that, like, a little more explanation as to why Lex Luthor makes him an abomination. But yeah, the whole Doomsday fight, I liked it. I thought it was cool, but like I said, the pacing was a little weird for me. It felt too quick for being something that was 45 minutes long.
Yeah. There's a lot going on though. It was a cool fight.
Oh, like visually and like the actual action in the fight was awesome. And I did like that. I love Batman, but I felt like obviously Batman can't fight Doomsday on his own.
Yeah, he was doing a lot of running away and hiding, and then his big thing was like his last grenade shot.
Yeah, but I love the way they did that because it shows that obviously Batman is not a metahuman.
Yeah.
He's as human as you or I, to some degree. But like he can't fight this creature, so he has to basically run away. He has to do the tactical retreat.
Yeah, that shot though was such a Batman comic book, ripped from the comic book shots, where he's on the side of the building and he grapples away from something.
Yes. Oh,
and, like,
so
the moon
good.
is even behind him, I think, or something like that. It's ridiculous. I'm like, oh my god,
that was such a good shot. I loved that.
They just stole that from any Batman book. It's very Batman-esque. Such a good idea.
Yeah, I thought I really did think the way that they used Batman in that fight worked because it made sense for who Batman's character is, who he's fighting, and it to me, like, even though he was retreating, it never at any point felt like Batman was fleeing. He felt like he was trying to, figure out a way how he can do something in this fight so they can keep himself alive, stop Doomsday from killing anybody.
Yeah.
And not become.
He basically has to live long enough to use that grenade at the right moment.
Yeah. So he's basically just trying to, hide himself long enough that he can use it without being seen. So I thought that was executed really well. So I'm really curious, like, what they're gonna do for the remaining films, because obviously Superman's not dead.
No, yeah, Superman's gonna come back for Justice League, obviously.
But I really want to see what the hell that whole scene is gonna unfurl.
I mean, it might just be the same way it does it for the Death of Superman story, where he just he has to go into like this hibernation for a while as his body heals.
Yeah, because they have that scene at the very end when like you hear the heartbeat.
You see the dirt rising off the coffin.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, but at the same time, I was in the theater going like, I was looking around like thinking to myself, is anybody really surprised?
No, everyone saw that.
I was looking at trying to look faces in the dark, like, is anybody going like shocked?
There's probably like one guy.
Oh my god!
He's not dead.
He's not dead. Shh, quiet, Phil. God damn it, Phil.
But I thought, obviously, I knew it was going to happen. The soon as like they're like Lois Lane and Superman, like you're going to die doing this. Like I knew as soon as like okay, he's going to die, but he's not really going to die. I knew that was going to happen.
He's going to become wounded heavily.
Yeah, but I still think this whole scene was executed well and didn't really feel cheesy to me.
Yeah.
Even though like I knew it was coming, I'm like, oh well, they still did a good job with the eventual outcome. I don't know. I still think he should have just thrown the spear.
Yeah. Come on.
I mean, he's Superman.
Then again,
even his weak state.
But he was also flying, so.
Yeah.
Once again, Superman's powers, like his total strength, is very nebulous, and Superman's weakness to kryptonite also changes dramatically based on.
And this is why I do not like Superman Returns.
Yeah.
This reason.
And he gets he's crippled by kryptonite until he gets stabbed by it and then picks up a kryptonite island.
It's not just that he's stabbed by it; it's that he gets stabbed by it and it gets broken in his abdomen.
It is in him.
He has this 6-7 inch long chunk of kryptonite stuck in his abdomen, and then he picks up a continent made of kryptonite and throws it into space. But somehow kryptonite is supposed to be his weakness.
Yeah.
Like that's no, you've completely ruined Superman doing that.
Although I will say that what's his name? Who played Superman in that movie?
Brandon Routh.
Brandon Routh. Brandon Routh.
Routh.
He is not the problem with that movie. He's doing a really good job.
No, I thought as a standalone aspect of the film, him as Superman, I thought he was good.
He looks so much like Christopher Reeve too.
That was a joke I made before I saw the film. Like, okay, they just picked him because he looks like Christopher Reeve.
Well, if you listen to Plug Another podcast that doesn't need any plugging, Fat Man on Batman with Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin, Kevin Smith talks to Brandon Routh and interviews him about like his process, like getting hired for Superman and stuff like that. And like originally, yeah, it started because he looks a lot like Superman. It looks a lot like Christopher Reeve. Like you could really pass for Christopher Reeve. And
yeah.
And as a side note, Brandon Routh is doing a great job on Legends of Tomorrow right now. He's playing the Atom, so he's still in the DC family, and he's still awesome. And he's playing such an earnest, great, awesome version of the Atom. Nice. Really enjoying it.
But no, like the main actors in that film were not the problem with the film. Like Brandon Routh was great as Superman.
People did not like Kevin Spacey. I like Kevin Spacey.
I thought he was a great Lex Luthor.
People were pissed off it's not Gene Hackman. It's like, get over it, you know.
Well, okay, at that point, Gene Hackman had been retired.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to act anymore.
What did he finish off with? Enemy of the State.
No, he finished off this movie called Welcome to Mooseport.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. He played like the incumbent mayor in this town in Canada.
No, he was the president.
He
was the president. I don't.
That's right.
Remember the plot beyond that.
Something like that.
But that was his last movie in 2004.
Wow, that sucks.
And he, I think he stopped acting because of that film. But no, like the main actors in that film were not the problem with that film. The problem with the film was the script.
Much like Batman v Superman. So let's figure out what is with Warner Brothers. Why can't they write a good movie? Because they had Ryan Reynolds for Green Lantern to bring that back to there, and Ryan Reynolds, as he's proven in Deadpool.
Well, I feel like the problem with that one is like the one who cared about the film was Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's great as he's a huge Green Lantern fan.
Yeah.
Too. It's like so it's just like why does Marvel consistently deliver these excellent scripts? Like the people they are hiring are better. They're doing a better job at getting a better script and moving on a better script.
I think I will say, with the change at the head of the DC creative control for the DC cinematic universe, being that it's someone who's been, a huge part of the DC.
Although
comics.
He is an EP on Batman v Superman. Jeff Johns is executive producer.
Well, so is Christopher Nolan though.
Yeah,
too.
but whatever.
But I'm saying like the guy who did like the really great Batman films was also an executive producer on this. Yeah. So that take that for what you will. I think things will change because I feel like Warner Brothers was less interested in making a good comic book movie and just wanted to make a movie.
They wanted to make an action movie.
And while comic books obviously have action, that's not the core of their film or their story. The core of their story are the characters and how they deal with adversity.
These Marvel movies are ripped from the comics.
Yeah, they feel like they just take the comics and those are the storyboards.
They match they match the themes of the comics. They get the characters right to a T, and they're treating it very very seriously. They hold the comics to a very high esteem. They venerate the books, and I don't think that the DC movies are doing the same.
No, and I think it's because the people that from Warner Brothers who are working on these aren't those kind of people. So that's why I'm curious to see how having Geoff Johns at the head of the DCCU.
He spells it with a G, not like a red-blooded American like I do.
But I'm curious to see how him at the head is going to change the outlook of the rest of the DC cinematic universe. I feel like already the fact that Justice League is supposed to be lighter than Batman
lighter in
Superman.
tone. They showed people. They had press. They had a big party for the press, and they showed them a scene from Justice League, and Batman cracks a joke, and Wonder Woman's cracks a joke, and it's very lighthearted, and Commissioner Gordon is jacked.
Oh my God, J.K. Simmons is Commissioner Gordon. Holy fuck!
Oh my God.
I am so excited about that.
He's going to be wearing a trench coat most of the time. Did anybody tell him that?
Well, apparently from what
he doesn't need Batman.
Apparently from what he had said is the picture of him working out are not related to the film. He just wanted to get in shape.
He just wanted to get jacked. Like a boss.
But no, I'm hoping that the quote unquote lighter tone of the DC films is going to take more of the tone that Marvel has with in terms of how light they are.
Well, Suicide Squad, I'm really still excited for.
Oh, I'm so excited about that. I saw a couple of trailers of release. I'm so excited about that
I
movie.
mean, it's going to be fantastic.
The only thing I'm bummed about is Tom Hardy isn't going to be in it. He was supposed to be in it.
Oh
I think
yeah,
he was supposed to be Captain
oh,
Boomerang, I
Captain
think.
Boomerang.
Yeah, but he had to drop out because I think he had to drop out because of Mad
Yeah.
Max. So I'm like, I was so happy, but I still think all the actors they picked for the roles, I think are going to be awesome.
Oh, Margot Robbie.
I think Will Smith is going to be great as Deadshot.
Margot Robbie. Oh boy.
And I will say, I think having seen the trailers, Jared Leto's going to do a great job at the Joker.
Yeah, I think so too. The laugh is just sounds awesome.
And like,
It's just creepy and weird.
I'm not going to kill you. I'm just going to hurt you a
I'm gonna
lot.
hurt you a lot.
I like that. I thought that was a good line.
I'm looking forward to that flick a lot. It's gonna be really good. I have very high hopes for it. People
Yes.
were freaking out because of the reshoots, but the reshoots were not to make the movie funnier.
Mm,
The reshoots were because like of other things. You know, like any movie that has like a budget as big as that has reshoots. It's just
oh
kind of
yeah.
how things go.
Well, that's
They
what
have to go
when
back and
people
get stuff.
yeah, when people are freaking out about the Rogue One reshoots,
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
it's like they're reshooting it because Disney's like, okay, this particular part of the film is not up to our standards. We need to redo it.
Because they've already
That doesn't.
because they're like we've already spent hundreds of $1 millions advertising and making this movie. Let's go back,
Yeah,
spend a little bit more money, and make it even better,
yeah.
so we can recoup our losses, and also because of Star Wars, we're Disney and we're going to make $1 billion anyway. Let's make it.
The only time I would be freaked out about a reshoot is if someone came out and said we're reshooting the entire movie.
Yeah,
Then I'd be like, okay, there's a
that's
big
not good.
problem
Yeah,
with this. That's not good.
no,
But no, if they're like, we need to reshoot these 3 or 4
they did
scenes
reshoots
because
on Episode 7.
yeah,
Like,
exactly,
come
and
on.
no one said a damn word about that.
So it's just kind of like whatever.
Yeah, but
Suicide
no,
Squad.
like if they come out and say like, oh, we need to reshoot these 3 or 4 scenes because of X, Y reasons, like, oh, okay, that's fine.
But yeah, Suicide Squad looks good. BVS much more improved. Much improved by the 30 minutes extra content, I think.
What did you have any other notes? I know you said you wrote some notes.
Those were the total of my notes. I intended to I have a composition notebook that I bought like a year ago, um,
Nice.
and I intended to fill up a page with notes, and I instead just ended up watching the movie, which I apologize for. But you know, I feel like I brought up all the stuff that was new to me because
Mm,
you and I don't remember if we did it on air, but you and I have talked a lot about Batman, v Superman.
yes.
Although this was the first time you'd seen it, so I mostly just wanted to hear how you felt about it.
Yeah. No, I think to get like if I had to give a film a rating, 1 to 10, I would say based like as if I'm looking at the film as just a film,
Hmm.
I would say I want to say I would give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. I think I thought it was really good. I thought there are obviously as we've discussed some room, quite a bit of room for improvement, but I think the film is solid. In comparing it from the theatrical cut to the Ultimate Edition, I would say it would be more of a 9 out of 10 for me because it's so much better than the theatrical version.
I mean, I would actually believe it or not, I would give this extended cut a 7.
No, that's what I mean. Like the
Oh, okay,
if
yeah.
I'm talking
Oh,
about
by comparing
if I'm talking about the Ultimate Edition
yeah,
as
I
a
see what you mean now.
standalone film, yeah, 7.5. But if I'm talking about it comparing the first version to the second version, I would say it'd be a 9. Yeah, but no, I would say for me it's a 7.5 out of 10. Like I said, that was really good. I thought it improved a lot from what I
It's a
heard.
much better movie now.
There's like, and there are some places it really needs to have done more to some more explanation, some more elaboration on certain things.
Hmm.
Some scenes could have been fleshed out better. But overall, I thought it was a pretty solid film. I would definitely recommend if you haven't seen it yet.
Well,
I
too
would
late.
definitely
We
recommend
just
seeing
wrecked it for you entirely.
it. Well, see it to enjoy the awesome acting of Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot.
To be fair, though, the entire movie was spoiled by all the trailers they put out.
Oh yeah, that's the one thing I think that like the Wonder Woman thing, like I'm not as bummed about because I'm like that's cool, you got a Wonder Woman film, but the Doomsday thing, like that's like the core
They like
third,
they
the
gave
last third of the
away
film.
every single major plot point in the movie
Yeah.
in the trailers, as if nobody was going to come and see this movie.
One thing I will say, one thing I thought was kind of cool that they talked about that they never really, as far as I can remember, talk much about, as to why Superman is affected by kryptonite and why the Kryptonians are affected by kryptonite. I thought it was kind of cool. They actually gave a scientific explanation for it.
Sort of, yeah.
Well, I mean, as scientific as you're going to get in a comic book about, you know, gods, basically. But I thought it was kind of cool that they actually showed how kryptonite affects, at least in terms of direct, like skin to skin or skin to element
How it
contact.
like breaks down their cells and stuff like that.
Yeah, it basically causes necrosis of those cells that that the kryptonite is touching. I thought that was pretty cool because it's never something I can never really remember them going much into. They just have like, oh, it's his weakness, and it weakens him. That's all they really say. So I thought it was cool that they tried to at least a little bit explain it, and they did so in a way I thought wasn't like goofy and unnecessary and cheesy. Like I thought it actually made sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was kind of cool. So props to that. And also, I thought it was a little weird when Lex Luthor feeds the senator the Jolly Rancher.
Yeah, that was a
A
little
little creepy. I thought it fit well with the character. It's a little weird to watch.
I feel like that was still improvised. Like that was just
I'm sure. Like looking at the guy who played the senator, looking at his face,
he's like,
he probably
"What
wasn't
the
expecting it.
fuck is this kid?"
But I thought it worked really well. And I thought it explored a little bit how crazy he is.
Yes.
Also, I feel like Lex Luthor has some major daddy issues.
No.
Well, I feel like
we wait till the last bit of the movie to find out he used to beat his son, like he was beaten by his father.
Well, I mean that's the thing. Like in the comics, at least as far as I can recall, you might recall it more than I do. They don't really ever talk about his relationship with his father.
Well, it depends on which Lex Luthor we're talking about, because in the comics there is both Lex Luthor and Alexander Luthor, his son. Yeah. And Alexander Luthor does take up the mantle and essentially just becomes Lex Luthor 2.0.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I don't know about the comics, but in Smallville they really explore Lex Luthor and his father Lionel. That thing is really a big deal.
Yeah.
I don't know how canon that is though, because like I said, I'm kind of weak on the Superman front, to be honest with you.
You and I are definitely more invested and knowledgeable about Batman.
Oh yeah, I'm more of a. I mean, I like street level guys. I like Daredevil. I like Green Arrow. I like the Question. I don't like even Captain America is still he's a superhuman, but he's still just a man. Like if you shot Captain America in the face, he'd die.
Yeah, it would take a few. You could kill him.
But you know,
but I mean, just like looking at the comics, as far as I can remember, I don't remember him. I mean, obviously, you're not going to have a perfect relationship with your father if you're in a comic book.
Yeah.
But I don't recall.
Nobody has a perfect relationship with their father.
But I don't ever recall. Exactly. But I don't ever recall him having such deep-seated issues with his dad.
Yeah.
I don't ever remember that coming up in the comics. So I feel like that got explored a lot more in this. And maybe they added it for, I don't know, exposition. Maybe it's something that is actually in the comics that they elaborated on. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I thought that really came out as a huge impetus as to why he wants to destroy Superman.
Well, the real cool thing about this version of the DCU is that this is like an older universe. Like Batman's been around for a while.
Yeah. One says he's been Batman for 20 years.
Yeah,
when he makes a really cool comment, I thought he's like, "I'm older than my father ever was."
Yeah, and I think there's a real possibility they could explore Lex Luthor the First, so to speak, because Batman would have had ties with him. Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, if he's been Batman for 20 years, it means he's been head of Wayne Enterprises for at least that length of time.
So it's possible that or like even better, he might be going even further back, and Wonder Woman's fighting a Luthor or something like that in World War I, or you know. What I mean?
Yeah.
Although I don't know what the plot of Wonder Woman is, which is great because they gave way too much plot.
I feel like they might have realized that.
Yeah. But she does mention. She does mention in Batman v Superman that she's killed things from other worlds before, so yeah. My theory is that she might be fighting Ares.
That would be my guess because he is one of her, if not the most prominent villain.
That's her villain, really.
Rogues Gallery.
And you know.
She also has like Cersei and stuff too.
Yeah, but it's set in World War I, and like how could you explain World War I as a thing if not by the God of War Ares? Like,
yeah, I mean that would make a lot of sense.
Because it's such a stupid war to begin with. Like,
yeah, shoot our Duke, will you?
Yeah, our Archduke.
He just shouldn't have gotten that fucking sandwich.
I know, right?
Actually, no. He was visiting one of the he was going to visit someone in the hospital, and they took a wrong turn and stopped outside the sandwich shop where his would-be assassin was eating a sandwich. And he shot him.
Who, by the way, if you like the story behind that is amazing because that guy, he attempted to assassinate Ferdinand
But
2 other times on that route and failed both times by freak accident. And then he just says, "Screw it, I give up," and he goes to get lunch and sees him.
That's what I remember. Our Franz Ferdinand was going to the hospital because the would-be assassin threw a grenade that took too long to explode. So Ferdinand went to visit those people in the hospital.
Yeah.
That's why he was going there.
He was just like basically like, "Fuck it, I give up. I'm gonna have some lunch." And he's eating his sandwich, and he sees, "Oh shit!" And he pulls. So yeah, Ares being the main villain in the Wonder Woman movie is my guess.
History is so dumb.
History is dumb.
But yeah, no, I mean, just in turn, like if you're using that, because I assume that photo is going to have something to do with Wonder Woman's movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's set.
It's taking place
in World War One. It's set in the early teens, and like I think that's her crew. Like she's like, I think it's going to be very Captain America-esque. Like that's her. What's Captain America's squad? The
oh god, what is it?
it's actually Nick Fury's squad. The Howling Commandos. There we go.
Yeah.
So that's like her Howling Commandos. It's like there looks like there's an Indian guy and there's Chris Pine.
I do find it funny though, like
Redwood impression, and there's
like you have like these characters who are going to be her squad, but she just is dressed as Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah, because that's the outfit still. Like
No, I know, but I mean, like if you're comparing like her to Captain America, Captain America is still wearing an army uniform. Yep. She's very much an.
Well, she's wearing a magical item, man.
I know. I just find it funny, like contrasting the two characters in capacity.
It's awesome they used the lasso.
I was so stoked when they did that. I was hoping that was
and the bracers.
Oh, that was so good. Because Batman has that oh shit moment, like, well,
shit.
This is it. This is where I die. So he just like puts his hands to defend himself. And at first, I thought that was going to be Superman jumping in.
No, it's Wonder Woman with her braces, and they then.
Well,
then you hear the guitar, the squeal, like.
Yes.
I'm like, why is Wonder Woman's theme so metal?
It's just so goddamn metal. But no, I thought, and just from an aesthetic point of view, I thought like the way she looked and her fighting style, all of it was so good.
I like how they approached it, because remember a while back they were talking about a Wonder Woman movie, and sadly Megan Fox was rumored to be playing Wonder Woman, and they were showing like this concept art for her outfit, and they were trying to figure out like the go-go pants or like the skirt or what have you. I feel like they've done a good job of like, because let's face it, Wonder Woman's outfit.
It's very Xena-esque.
It's weird because Wonder Woman is a very positive role model. She's a very positive woman character. She hasn't always been treated that way, and sometimes she just gets dolled up and looks really stupid sexy. Like if you look at some of these pages, like oh my god, nobody looks like that. Nobody's figure is like that. So they found a way with this outfit, with her armor, to make it look like it's something that a Greek would use, because they fought in skirts because it's you're more mobile. That's
you can move around a lot.
Her bodice isn't like shoving all her boobs up to her chin.
No, but that's the thing I like is like it has the very authentic original Wonder Woman look to it.
It looks like a Wonder Woman arm.
Yeah, but at the same time, it does enough that it doesn't have the bad aspects of her costume.
Yeah, I mean. To contrast it, in the upcoming Suicide Squad movie, we've got Margot Robbie wearing mostly nothing throughout the entire movie, and that is the point. And I'm looking forward to it.
Well, the thing with that though, I feel like that still works for her.
That's the character. But Margot Robbie's been has talked about how like she was like freezing all the time and really uncomfortable, and there's these scenes where she's literally wearing like a little tank top and a bra, and they drench her with water, and they have to break for lunch. She's trying to eat lunch, and she's like half naked in front of the entire crew.
Okay, I will say, in that defense, that is on her. Put a coat on.
Put a coat on, woman. Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like they did a good job of making Wonder Woman, like, and the same thing with, like, the way she dresses outside of the costume. She's wearing these really elegant dresses that shows off her femininity, but she's not, like, dressed like a bag.
But it doesn't do it in a way, it shows off her femininity, but doesn't do it in a way that reduces her character to a sex symbol.
Yeah, she is not, like, just the hottie that through the movie. She
seems very in control and put together.
She plays a vital role, and she plays a strong character, and I'm looking forward to how they do it in a full movie. And I'm really glad. I just like the costume was treated well. They didn't try to sauce her up or tart her up, but they also didn't like put her in full body armor and stuff like that.
Yeah, they tried to make her existing costume better, and I think they did a great job.
Yeah.
Speaking of costumes, I have to complain about Batman's costume now.
Which one? The giant padded rubber one or the metal one?
The padded or the rubber one.
I
thought the metal one was fine.
liked
didn't really.
I liked the rubber Batman costume.
The only thing I didn't like
The
about
Frank Miller Batman costume.
the only thing I didn't like about it were the tiny ears.
That's Frank Miller, man.
No, that's the thing. It's like it works in Frank Miller's universe because it's drawn, but it just to me did not work in this. I feel like tiny-eared Batman just didn't work.
Long-eared Batman, if long-eared Batman as a practicality, what's going to happen is someone's going to grab you by that frickin' ear thing and pull your head back, or you're going to be ducking under something and the ear's going to clip it.
But Batman's whole thing is fear and intimidation, and if I'm seeing a shadow of this thing with nubby ears, that's not intimidation.
Oh man, I think that's the imposing figure he is. Like that scene where like I was actually legit scared first watching in the in the beginning of the movie where he brands that dude and the cops find him.
Yeah.
And he's like in the corner in the background. He's like,
no.
That was legit scary.
That was awesome. Like in terms of like the costume as a whole, I think it's awesome. The tiny ears aren't doing it for me.
I mean, I've heard this debate 1,000 times, and I can't decide what side I'm on, because long ear Batman stylistically is really cool. It looks great. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, for me, this one I will say I don't like the short ears, but I don't think long ears on this costume would have worked.
No, because it doesn't look like Frank Miller's Batsuit then.
Well, no, but even outside of it looking like Frank Miller's Batsuit, just the way it's designed, the long ears aren't going to work because it doesn't fit with the character.
Yeah.
So you'd have to redesign the whole suit to use the long ears. I don't know. I never really was a huge fan. They look kind of weird, like goofy to me.
Yeah.
But that's just my thing. I prefer the long-eared Batman.
Well, what do you think? Do you think we've talked enough about this? Do you want to put a pin in it?
I think so. I think we've talked a lot about.
I think we might have killed the audience with boredom.
Not possible.
This might have
we are very entertaining individuals.
This might have to be a two-parter.
Well, I'll probably divide it up into
pre-Batman talk and post-Batman talk.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I'm looking at like an image of the short-eared Batman now, just a comic book image, and it looks awesome. I think it looks great. I think it fits really well, and I will actually send you what I'm looking at right now. But no, I think it looks really cool. But I don't know if it's just maybe it's just this film in general. I don't know. I wasn't super digging on the short-eared Batman. So this is the picture I was looking at. And it's a short-eared Batman. I think it looks really awesome.
Oh yeah, that's from New 52.
Yeah,
it's shorter ear. It's not short ear like Frank Miller's short ears. Like there's
but it's shorter than like the really long ears like you have in the arcade games.
Yeah, who was the artist that did like the super long ears, like in the Long Halloween long ears? Remember those?
Oh, yeah, I can't remember.
That was crazy.
Yeah, those were really long.
Yeah, well, even Catwoman got some big ass ears in that one.
Yeah.
It's but big ass other things, you know what I'm saying? I meant her breasts, Kenny. I was talking about her breasts.
Oh, them titty balls.
Yes, them titty balls.
But no, like I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but longer Batman's always been my go-to. But yeah, so yeah, I think we'll stick a fork in it. I think it's done.
That's enough for the day.
Word. All right. Well, hope you out there,
ladies and gents,
have enjoyed our comic book and non-comic book talk this time.
I hope so.
As always,
I'm really bored about all this stuff.
Well, okay, if you're listening to us, you probably have some sort of interest in the show.
Yeah, really. You have some sort of interest in what we're talking about.
Exactly. But as always, let us know how awesome we are, because our egos are very fragile. And let us know why we suck, but be nice about it. Constructive criticism is always nice.
As an aside, tell us how you would shoot down an eagle without killing it from its lofty.
Let's start doing this. How about we start doing this? Podcast question of the day: if you had to shoot an eagle out of a tree, how would you do it?
How would you do it? How would you get an eagle out of a tree? The tree is, you can't get to it. You can't climb up to it. It's like
it was. I believe in the article, 75 feet in the air? I think?
Yeah, I mean, although I don't know why they couldn't just get like a cherry picker, but whatever. Anyway,
who knows?
Who knows? How would you take care of this situation? And how more America could you make it?
So, I mean, when you look at this guy, he shot a a bald eagle out of a tree. He shot the branch off.
Yes.
How do you more America than that?
Yes. How can you out America that American?
Yes. So
Let's
let us know in
discuss.
the comments. Let us know in the comments how you would out America that guy. And tell us what you liked. Tell us what you want us to improve, how you think we can improve, anything you want us to do that you think would be interesting, anything you want us to cut out. And as I said, the whole show is not an option.
Yes, always. We decide when we end this shit.
Damn it, this is our decision, not yours.
Yeah, Mom.
Also, quick sidebar. I thought Aquaman looked awesome.
Awesome. Jason Momoa is gonna make a great Aquaman.
He's gonna be so good.
He's awesome. Despite this.
I'm so excited. But yes, yeah. So let us know what's up. What's up, guys? And on that note, we will talk to you later. And
We promise to do better next time.
We'll try. I think we're getting better, but we'll promise to be better.
We do better next time.
We'll do better. Yeah. Have a good day and tune in for next week's episode. Bye, everybody.
Bye.